photograph very well. Like, she's always in this state of just, she doesn't know if she's actually in the picture or not.
Yeah, cats are terrible.
She doesn't like
taking
cameras,
pictures.
and she always runs away from cameras. She's always looking to see if she's on camera, so like you can't even do like Instagram stories with her, and she just, all of the light just gets absorbed immediately. So
What? Can I actually? Yeah, I can put you full screen. Oh yeah, now
Yeah,
it feels like I'm actually talking to someone.
can you see? Oh yeah, I have you full screen on my computer.
Oh yeah, I
Say
can
something,
see it
Umi.
now.
Say something. Put a spit on the map. She's like, nope. What's your cat's name?
This is Cheddar.
Cheddar.
You might just want to start because this story is worthwhile here.
Oh, we started. We are now watching the Lazy J. Hun, put the.
You
Oh no, put the title on the.
you got me. Okay, Cheddar doesn't like it now, but
Oh.
he just gave me the hiss. But this is Cheddar, and Gray Smoke. So
Gray
I got
Smoke.
Cheddar first. Originally I wanted to get a beagle, beagle dog, of course. And
Mine escaped. Umi's gone. She bolted out of there.
I'm gonna let Cheddar out. He's not happy, and he is so fuzzy and just ruining my T-shirt right now. So
You've got two boys then? You got Cheddar and Gray Smoke?
yes, they are both brothers.
Ah, I
actually.
see that. I got two girls.
So yeah, I want look at this. Let's join houses. Whatever Game of Thrones.
Right, yeah, yeah.
Games of cats.
Single and ready to do something.
Yeah, of course they're both now laying down. That's what they do. But yeah. So
See,
I
that's
got
cool.
Cheddar. Got
Okay.
Cheddar first because I wanted a beagle dog, and just ended up adopting a cat.
Ah,
And then no one wanted to adopt it Gray for whatever reason. So
Huh.
like it was a friend of a friend. Her cat got pregnant, and she was trying to kind of deal with the kittens scenario. So I was like, okay. I kept them at my place for like some time, so my friends would come over. I actually got two of them adopted to like other friends,
oh, cool.
and yeah. So eventually, Gray was the last one, and I was like, you know what? I saw them playing with each other a lot, and I was like, might as well, like just have two cats.
Right, I'm a dad now. Did you have that situation? Because we got Umi like, I don't know, the summer before we got married. That's how we keep track of how old she is. Otherwise, I would not know. Like, I just wouldn't know. So she's probably like 7 now. But when we got her, she would just yell, man. Like, she would just make noises. Like, we would go to sleep, and then all in the corner, she would just. For like 30 minutes, and we're like, why? What is this? And she would only do it at night, only when we went to sleep. And like, we were living in an apartment where there were no, like, we slept in a loft, so like, there were no doors. She could very easily just come where we were. But like, she would stay downstairs and just make those god awful banshee noises. And we were like, we gotta fix this. So we thought, oh, maybe let's get another cat so that she has someone to talk to when we go to sleep. And she won't just like talk to space. So we got Raylan, which Raylan, she's, man, I don't know how old she is. Huh? Raylan.
Raylan, okay. Was the Raylan the one you were holding, or the other one? Sorry.
No, Umi's the full black. Raylan, who was not pictured today, is
Tuxedo.
Classy tuxedo. You know how those are. So that she didn't want to come on cam. And Raylan, we named Umi after from Up on Poppy Hill, the Studio Ghibli movie. The main character's name is Umi. And I like seen it recently. I was like, oh, this movie's dope. So I named her Umi. And then Raylan came from Awesome Knots, which I don't know if you've played that. Maybe it's that like 3-on-3.
Oh yeah,
right.
I love Awesome Knots.
Oh yeah, for real.
With Awesome Knots.
Yeah. So then you know Raylan. So we named her because of that Raylan. I don't know why, because I don't even play.
Was the one with the disc?
She was the one with the big gun. Well, no, she had a disc too. I think it would she would put the disc down and it would like make you move really slowly.
Yeah, so she was a sniper.
Yeah, she was a sniper.
I mained her actually for quite a while.
Oh really?
Just kind of unfair because like you would just upgrade your range, and then you can kind of see like the enemy on the minimap, and then you'll like just hold all the way from the back and just get some free kills.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no, she's
Man,
nasty.
Awesome Knot would make a good like arcade cab.
Oh yeah,
I think
3-on-3. You know, the only weird thing about it is you wouldn't be able to see the whole map, but like, Awesome Knots was really fun. Like,
yeah, true.
a buddy
Yeah,
of
you
mine
have free
from North
television
Carolina
tickets.
put me onto that. Mark Austin and my other buddy Kinlo and Mark Thompson, which is always weird. You have two of the same named people in your group, so you're like, which one is which? But we started playing. I was a Coco main, so I was on the surfboard slinging the balls, being
Okay,
really
Coco
annoying.
I was thinking about Coco. I hate Coco. she had the ability that goes across walls, and that got me way too many times.
Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, man, it's fun.
Yeah.
But I was playing a lot of that.
Sorry, Lone Star was also awesome. That game is awesome, by the way. If anyone's like listening to this, and
It's
haven't
Awesome
played-
Knots.
Yeah,
Go play
it's
it.
free. The intro is amazing, of course. 'Cause
Mm.
It's like a 80s cartoon style. Anyway, I just love it.
Yeah, that's how my buddy got me into it because I didn't play like MOBA. You know, I'm thinking Dota, League of Legends. Like I never played any of those games. So he was like, "Yeah, it's a MOBA, but dude, it's really like a Saturday morning cartoon." And I was like, tell me more about this cartoon. So it read really cool. It was a lot of fun. We played that a lot.
Did you play it on PC or like
Yeah.
PlayStation?
No, on PC. Mm-hmm.
Because it was on PlayStation for like a short time, and it didn't get the updates. But that's how I found out about it. Because like I had like a group of my friends who like played on PlayStation. So
No, I would play it with I played it with like a Logitech, like an aftermarket Logitech gamepad, but on the PC.
really, oh wow, yeah. I think you probably would have struggled. I guess that explains why you picked the character you
Yeah,
picked. I think
yeah.
that was the best character to pick for a controller.
It's just her area of attack stuff. It was easier to do.
Yeah.
But shoot, man, we got Ammar over here. We got Cats. We got the Cheddar Gray Smoke Umi Raylan combo. That's funky. And then of course, you know, I wanted to bring you on because one, I used to live in North Carolina, but then two, I would say between you, Kyle, and Tall Boy Jordan, all being from North Carolina, like that's my trifecta. Like you guys are cool dudes. So I definitely wanted to talk to you.
Of North Carolina for you.
Yeah, the triangle. Accidental pun. No one not from North Carolina knows. The triangle. What's that? Is it obtuse? But nah, it's dope.
Charlotte's not even in the triangle.
No,
It's
Charlotte's
funny
not in the
enough.
triangle at all. The triangle's Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill. What do they call Charlotte? Charlotte's the Queen City, but
Queen
like,
City, yeah.
right? That's it. This is the Queen City.
Queen City.
And then you're back home. I see some, we've been checking out the backgrounds of all the Lazy J's. So I see some, is that Mr. Krabs up there as I'm looking at?
There is a crab hat.
It is a crab.
That is in here. Oh gosh. It's a crab hat. I wore this one. I'll eventually bring in my hats game in here.
Mm.
But yeah, it's Darth Vader wearing a crab hat. And next...
I couldn't see
Yeah,
Darth
maybe-
Vader. I didn't make that out.
I'm glad this is not like a work interview or something.
It's fine. It's fine.
Next to it is the hats that Dallas makes, the Killer Queen one. You
Oh
saw
yeah,
it,
yeah.
like the
I saw you
beanie.
wearing one. You wore one to Queen's Gone Wild.
Yep, I took it to the summer, and I take it everywhere actually. It's kind
Mm.
of it's cozy. It's so super comfortable.
It's the good luck charm now. You can't go without it.
Oh, until I got the crab one. The crab one is the
The
new
crab one's the good luck
luck
charm.
charm one.
That's the deal, man. Have you been hanging up just with the whole quarantine and lack of socials and whatnot? I mean, you've probably been doing something.
Oof.
Maybe
a lot of
not.
video games.
Maybe you haven't been doing anything. That was a pretty heavy
Yeah.
sigh.
Like I would like to say that I haven't really. There, like I'm used to just being at home, play video games at home and
Mhm.
so on. But I think it's finally like getting to me where like I'm like I need to get out.
Uh
I
oh.
want to get. I want to exercise.
Yep.
I play volleyball, so this is like this time of the year is the time where like sand volleyball kicks in, and people have all the tournaments and everything,
Mm-hmm.
and they are having those tournaments. I'm not going.
Right.
out.
Right.
That's just not a good idea now with COVID and everything.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, kind of miss going out. But at the same time, just a lot of StarCraft. Like we jump in, me.
Oh,
Jordan,
yeah.
and
You
the
guys- so
StarCraft crew.
I had to gracefully bow out because my ego was so fragile. I got up there to the MagFest tournament, and I halfway want to blame the keyboard because the keyboard was sauce, and I didn't realize everyone was bringing keyboards. Then I remembered, oh, it's like Smash Bros. I have the controller that everyone broke before that doesn't have like the rubber, the rubber's still on. It's got the hard nubs, and I'm in Pain Town right now. Okay. But oh, dude, I did so bad. Like I got murdered. Got murderlated.
Your group was really tough.
I was in the tough group.
I remember. Yeah, you were in a really tough group.
I don't even remember. All I remember was just, it was like being in an alley and someone hit you and you turn around and you're like, who's there? It's like Patrick Swayze and Ghost, just pummeling you. You're like, where is he?
Well, it's funny you say that in MagFest because you don't know who you probably, did you even know who you were playing against?
No idea. Yeah, like, I could realize everyone knew who Jordan was. They were like, oh, he's back, Tippus. And it wasn't a lot of people in that particular tournament either, so that kind of made it worse because, like, you can't hide. It's just all the guys that know each other and then you.
Well, I'm going to say that, like, while you were playing, you stood up and you were trying to find the person that beat you.
Dude.
kind of like the Matrix situation, or like he was like escaping from.
I'm telling
Agent
you,
Smith.
It was super rough. It was rough, but it was a fun time.
Did you not get any wins? I thought you got like one map.
No, I didn't get a map. No maps, no zone. It was a no map zone for me. I did pull off a pretty good build once, and then outside of that, it was just nope. So it was a hard time. But I know Jordan ended up winning that one. I think you took some games and did pretty good too.
I didn't make it to the. So like they split it into like 2 tournaments pretty much. Like becomes like beginners and pros pretty much.
Right.
Brackets, and then they do 2 finals for those, and that's it. They don't like play more. It's not like a double elimination situation. In 2018, I'm trying to think. Yeah, 2018, I was able to make it to the amateurs finals, and I lost. And I'm still bummed about it. Jordan sent me like the video, and it's like they were like commentators and everything, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is the closest I got to going to Korea, becoming a pro.
Oh man,
player.
Yeah, Korea.
But no, if you would have stayed, if you would have just showed up the day after, you would have gotten some MagFest MagBucks. Yeah, that's what they called it.
Oh, money. I didn't get any MagBucks. I don't think that last time.
Because they were looking for you.
They were?
Because you were in the strong group, so like you're technically like placed higher than other.
By default. You're telling me I got a default pick right now? I feel bad now.
I think it was like $10 like gift card, which I know it doesn't sound like much, but it's like
that's
the token, right?
$10. That's at least 3 boxes of Pocky in mag currency. So
that is second place in Killer Queen Arcade in MagFest.
Oh
so
yeah.
If you would have gotten second place, I think you would have gotten the same amount.
So and I would have to have worked exponentially harder in the Killer Queen Arcade tournament. I played in that one, by the way. I was in there.
Oh,
yeah, I was in there. It was me, Alex Hogan, Todd, from Baltimore, his wife, his baby, and
the baby didn't play.
The baby pulled him weight. Man.
The
baby was moving that snail. I can't remember who else was on there. I can't remember the 5th, but at any rate, or no, it was
Stephanie. Yeah, that would. Yeah, I remember. I'm trying to remember, but yeah, I can't.
Somebody.
Recall.
We did okay. Alex had some pretty cool strats. He would come and be like, because he has played against certain people, so he kind of knows what they are. But he was telling me what he would be doing, and he was talking about it like this. He would say, oh, XYZ, they don't know my tricks, so I'm gonna do the opener that we talked about. But he would say it like that, they don't know my tricks. Like he's just got this bag of tricks that he just pulls things out of. And it's like, do you know this one? No? Okay.
I played with him in Baltimore, and we did quite well. We made it to the, relatively, we did well. We made it to the, was it the playoffs or something like that? Yeah.
Yeah, Alex, he's a cool dude. I like him. That was a lot of fun, man.
That was a fun team that I played with them.
The first time, not this MagFest, but the Star Fox MagFest. which is my all-time favorite. I love Star Fox. As soon as Star Fox was there, I bought the ticket immediately.
Man.
I wasn't even gonna go
used...
really to the DK one, but then other people were going, so I was like, DK, Donkey Kong, okay, cool. But the Star Fox one, I was
DK
playing.
was the 2020. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was the 2020. So Star Fox was the 2019. But we had, what's his name? Eddie Wong was on our team, and we did terrible. But Eddie Wong was on our team, so like, I feel like we won.
Cool.
Rocket jump, Eddie Wong, cool dude, man.
So that was that was a Star Fox one.
Yeah, that was the Star Fox one. It was a little different configuration.
I remember people would talk about him being there, so big time. I wasn't that. I think I went in the last 4 years. I think I went to all these MagFests.
Oh
MagFest, by the way, music and gaming.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I kind of want to feel excited about it and be like, you guys must go. It's the best thing ever. Play might get canceled next year. So
I don't know, man. MagFlu is already a thing without coronavirus, so 2020 MagFest. I mean, unless it's like Resident Evil MagFest, maybe keep it on the theme at least. Everyone's gonna come out with the T virus.
So did you go to the Castlevania MagFest? That was before the Star Fox one.
No, I did.
No.
I took a break off MagFest for a little while. We only did, I want to say, it was either the Zelda MagFest or the Metroid MagFest was the last one I went to before Star Fox.
I don't think I went to either of those. So.
And we both dope badges
we both
for those.
Fans of Samus. I know your wife is
as
well, which is. I think I did catch her live in there, and that was.
Samus is dope. It's Samus 2M. She's a. How does she say it? She says it a certain way. She's a rapper, PhD holder now. I think she used to mix graduate something in there, but she's got her PhD. A producer is one of the ones. She introduces herself the same way every time. I usually remember, but she's dope. We would watch her at the Mega Manathon and catch the sets and everything, which was really fun. But yeah, music and gaming, that was cool. We had some folks over at, what was it, in Chattanooga at BB4 when they had, who is it, Power Glove? That band that was there? Yeah, Power Glove was there?
I think so, yeah.
That was a really Maggie feel, for people who haven't been. So hopefully one day we can mag together again.
Save up all of my going out throughout the year, all of my live shows, all of my live music, just to be in one weekend.
Right.
That is MagFest.
Right.
Because that is the music that I like to listen to.
It's dope music
everywhere. It's legitimately the only weekend I want to party. I wish there were more stuff like that, but I don't think there's a system to really, unless you go to different conventions, and there's not that many.
No.
Well, especially now.
Yeah, especially now. And not like MagFest. MagFest, MagFest just doesn't care about anything. There's no one thing, you know what I mean? I feel like some conventions, like Comic-Cons, I learned I don't like Comic-Con. Because I'm not as into comics as I thought. And, they usually don't have very many video games. They'll have some. Yeah. But, it's usually comics.
MagFest, yeah. And there's anime conventions, but I am not that into anime.
Yeah.
I know there's the groups kind of overlap with each other. If you're a gamer, you might like anime, but not fully. So there's not a lot of game focused conventions, and that's why I go to MagFest every year.
Did you ever go to the one? They had that one in North Carolina. I guess SuperCon came up from Florida now as GalaxyCon or whatever. But before that, they had Animazement that was in Raleigh, and I went to one time, and I was like, oh sweet. Convention, anime,
nerds,
things I like,
culture.
Cool. And then I got there and literally I kept saying cosplay people and just other people and panels of just anime that I had never heard of, didn't know anything about. I'm listening to the karaoke anime singing songs that I don't know. Oh wait, there's Evangelion. Okay, I know that one. Oh no, I don't know that one. So it's there's nothing. It really exposed to me how
comic. It's not the one from the
show.
It's
yeah, exactly. Yeah, from the manga or something.
That deep, right?
It's insane. So it exposed to me how I thought I was an anime fan. I'm clearly not. I guess I've been watching Avatar.
How do you feel about even MacFest in a way, because like some of the gaming stuff that they do in there, it still like blows my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Like like I went to a so like there's a lot of panels, of course, in MacFest, and there's one that was like a video game themed video game themed Jeopardy. So I sat, I just sat by. And
My
I was
wife,
watching.
producer, is nodding her head. She remembers the video game themed Jeopardy. She's switching the scenes today too, by the way. I usually switch them on my phone, but my phone won't connect, so she's hanging out.
Nice.
But it's okay. Video game Jeopardy.
But yeah, in that one, some of the questions were tough.
Oh.
It's like some music was taught. It's like, oh, this is the music column. Sorry, I'm not.
Right.
Music category, and it would like some music would play, and it's like, who's this? And then it's like some Japanese director's name that would be the answer, and I'm like, okay, I'm out. Like, I'm not that strong,
Yeah,
I don't know who Kiami someone is.
If it's not Koji Kondo, I'm gonna lose.
Yeah, I struggled, and I was like, thank God I did not like say that I want to be on, like, because they had like some celebrities on there as well. So.
Oh, that's actually a good little odds. Can you run and grab the you know what I'm talking about, the cards that we had? I want to get those. Maybe later on we'll quiz Ammar and see how big of a gamer he is.
No,
my wife got these little cards, and they had like game questions on them or whatever, and so we were doing them a little bit.
I want to do it. So we had a video game trivia. I wish I had someone to go and grab my poster. we had
gotta get the producer.
I know, I need a producer, man. We went to like a game trivia that was in a local bar, and we destroyed it.
Oh yeah, like pub trivia.
Yeah, it was pub trivia for video games, and we just answered everything. It was me, Maria, Ryan Lesko. Forgot who else we had. So that was a lot of fun. But we went and we did like the 2 rounds too. We won both of them.
Right. Okay.
Oh, man.
Okay.
You're gonna pull out the card. And,
I got some cards here. I got some cards here.
Man.
If you put it on, so I can show them the cards.
I'm interested because I usually think that I'm a good like video game historian with all the podcasts and everything I listen to. So
right, exactly. Like I thought I was into anime, and I realized nope, I just watched Gundam Wing and Dragon Ball. So this is it here. So you can see it's just game quiz, right? Game quiz, very generic game quiz. The light's like too bad there. Well, you can kind of see if I tilt.
Where did you get it from?
I have no idea, hon. Where'd you get this from? She had this phase for a while where she was like a cat, like brings home dead animals, you know? And you're like, why do you do this? She just would go to McDonald's, and I kid you not, like there's some of them sitting over there. She would just get the toys for no reason, like not even like good toys sometimes. Boy toys. Yeah, always just get toys, boy toys, and just bring them home. Like, why'd you do this? You got to stop.
So I have a thing where if I go to McDonald's, I get the Happy Meal.
Yeah.
Bill. And it's a good deal, just to start with, $3.
It's a great deal.
You're not gonna get way too much food and too much fried that you feel bad afterwards.
Right.
And
it's a good
deal.
deal.
I just end up getting the toy and then throwing it away. So I got this.
You have one? This was not planned.
So I got like a. Oh wait, is it the same thing that you guys have?
No, but like just the idea. I was literally saying this is exactly what my wife does, and you do it too.
Yeah, So yeah, this is a minion ball that had like one of the. Which I hate the minions, by the way. I'm not that big of a fan.
Right, they never have anything you want.
One of the minions of the action figures, which I don't know, looks like a cop, a pilot. Okay, he's a pilot. He's
okay, it's a pilot. It's fine. It's a pilot.
Yeah, that's acceptable. But yeah, like it comes like in this like Pokeball, and it's like, what is going on? Like,
yeah, I literally thought it was a Pokeball.
Yeah, it's yeah, I think that's the only one I have, and then I usually just have like those toys around for some time, and then I just throw them away in the trash because.
All right, well, I suppose it's only fair that I should show you one that she got. So this is one. Hopefully, you can kind of see it. It was a Nintendo one, so at least there's that. It's Super Mario brand. Yeah. Looks like this. It's a little Yoshi, wheel. Here it is so you guys can see it. Little Yoshi wheel. And the way it works, you push the button on the top and it spins, and then you let it go, and it just picks something. So that was a mushroom.
No, that didn't pick something. So when you let it go, it stops immediately?
Yeah. Yeah, it stops immediately when you let it go.
Yeah, that is not randomized. That is like cheating.
Let me see if I hold it. I've never held it before. I think it's just gonna keep going. Oh no, it stops. It stops. So okay. So it is randomized. I just gotta hold it.
Oh no, that looks like you can scam someone with it. You're like, okay, if it stops on the tomato, whatever the shapes are, then you get $1, and then you just stop it.
Well, I just counted. I don't know why there's an apple on here. Like there's a bunch of like Mario items, like the usual stuff, the coin, the fire flower, Goomba, and then there's just an apple.
Just
I don't know.
There's an apple in the like original Mario, I guess. No.
No, not well.
No, sorry. I'm talking to like Mario, like the Super Nintendo Mario World.
Oh, Mario World.
Apples.
Yeah. Well, no, those were berries. Those are very distinctly berries. Yeah, different thing. Maybe that'll be on the game quiz. Let me do one here. Let's see. So
the game quiz, I didn't grow up with like Nintendo stuff, which I know you're a big fan as well. Didn't grow up with Nintendo stuff. So when we did the game trivia, I told everyone that any Nintendo 64 questions, I'm out. So just letting you know.
That's fair. That's a good note. This one is not a Nintendo 64 question. So here it is. It says, which Sony console? If you guys are watching, you can, I guess, type whatever. Which Sony console introduced the share button to its DualShock controller?
PlayStation 4?
Yeah, PlayStation 4. Yeah.
Yeah, because you said DualShock and
right. That kind of eliminates at least PS1 and 2.
Well, I was gonna say the Vita, but
oh yeah, the Vita. Oh yeah, Vita. Oh, you were going deep.
Yeah, so you said PlayStation, and then I was like, oh, this is easy, and then I was like, wait a second.
That's a deep dive. Okay. Oh, this will be tough. I wouldn't know this. I don't think. All right. Which American toy manufacturer released Intellivision home console in 1979? American toy manufacturer released this. So there's a couple there that's gonna rule out all the Japanese guys.
Oof, yeah.
1979.
I mean, the only company, it's not a toy company, but it's Atari. So I don't know if that even counts.
No, yeah, Atari was still a computer manufacturer.
Is it Hasbro, maybe?
No, it was their enemy Mattel. That's like a 50-50. You're either gonna say Hasbro or Mattel.
Yeah. Interesting. I actually did not. Like, I knew about the console, but I didn't know that, like, the big toy companies actually dabbled. So.
Yeah, they were trying. They were trying a lot of stuff. All right, here's one for the aforementioned Atari. I'll give you a hint on that. Let's see if you can get the name, though. All right, so last one we'll do. Which console was controversially advertised as the world's first 64-bit console when it was, in fact, comprised of two 32-bit processors?
It's like, there's like Linux or Tiger or something like that. Is that one of, I don't know.
It is an Atari, but it's a specific type.
I mean, the big Atari is like the 2000 something.
Yeah, yeah, the 2600 or something. It's the Atari Jaguar, apparently.
Yeah, okay. I knew it was one of the cats. Okay.
Yeah, so it's little things like that. It's kind of fun.
It got me. Yeah, that's a good trivia. I would love to.
I would know. I know most of the Nintendo ones, but I don't know any of the other things.
Well, that's what it is. You need to have like a circle of friends when you go to a trivia. So
right.
Like everyone is a different fanboy.
Right.
We had strong. So there was another trivia where we had the Avengers of video game trivia. We had one guy. He was an owner. No, yeah, he is an owner of a used video game store. Like Moms and Pops video game store.
The Ringer.
Yeah, we had the owner of a game bar. Also went with us. There was me, Maria, and Ryan Lesko, who we won like two video game trivia. We went to this place, and we were almost like too smart for our own good.
Oh no. Oh no.
So we would get questions like, you know, this video game console had the first internet connection, something like that, right? And we were like, okay, it was Sega. It was a Sega Saturn. We know that there was that game, and the guy was like, oh yeah, I own like the guy who owned the store. He was like, oh yeah, there was an attachment you had to add, and so on.
Right.
I think the answer was like the Dreamcast.
Yeah, the Dreamcast.
We were like, no, it is not. So like we had, I think we argued like a couple of those kind of answers,
Mm-hmm.
and
Trying to figure it all out. Yeah, Dreamcast. I remember they had the first. Dreamcast was so ahead of its time, man. I've got a
yeah,
Dreamcast up there on the wall. The Dreamcast
I
controller.
I skipped the Dreamcast. Sadly, I should have got it. It's
It was one of those where, like, if you got it, then it's like you wouldn't have done too much with it. You would have had a great time though. But you know, they didn't make a Dreamcast 2.
yeah,
So it's like, what are
yeah.
you really missing? I guess all the Dreamcast stuff just went to the GameCube anyway, like Sonic Adventure.
A lot of people like think of it kindly because like it was having some good games and then out of nowhere just like ended. Like it
Mhm.
didn't have like a decline in any way. It just ended out of nowhere.
No,
So
you're
there
right.
were a lot of good games out there, and there were a lot of imports. So if you had any weeb friends, they were probably importing all of these like games that you have to like go to some special website to get them and so on.
Yeah, dude. A buddy of mine lives in North Carolina. A lot of North Carolina links in this episode. Go figure. But he's an avid collector. I think he actually has all, maybe except for one, I don't know, but all copies of every Dreamcast game ever made. He's got a couple, like, multiple, duplicates and whatnot, too. But, like, Panzer Dragoon and, like, some of the things that are a little bit more rare and stuff he's got. And what was the other one? Samba de Amigo and like a couple other things like that that were off the wall. But yeah, he's got these things. It's like, whoa, there's really cool libraries, man. It's super good. Kind of pinwheeling from video games. I'm gonna segue a little back to anime for a second. I know we'll be here all night talking about video games. It's not that kind of show. Say, hey, man. I wanted to get. You were saying you were watching Avatar for Jordan.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
Wife and I watched an episode. Where are you at now? Because you're like, oh, it's so long. What book are you in?
Oh gosh, book. Like season 2, I think I'm almost done with season 2. I'm trying to think of the final episode. Like honestly, like the episodes kind of blend because I watched so many episodes together.
They all cliffhanger.
They got I guess it's not a spoiler. Like the blind girl with them as well, and then they have another episode with her when they were like having the whole like, you need to do your work,
Yeah.
So that's where I stopped. It's such a good universe.
So we're like a little bit ahead of you because I think we're like maybe 2 episodes ahead of you from that point. Because we started going back and rewatching it.
Is this your first time watching it? Or?
No, our first time we watched it. I think we watched it originally when it was on Netflix the first time. Or maybe it was Nickelodeon or something I don't know. But, yeah, we were in, I was out of school. Senia was in grad school. We were living in Chapel Hill. And. Was it in my dorm room? No, it was at the Villages. No, not the Villages. In my dorm room. In 310. Eagle Landing. I stand corrected. We watched it in undergrad, and I checked with the producer, and it was in undergrad. So we watched it then, and I just remember it being cliffhanger. We're like, but it's a great show, man. It's cool. I always go back and forth with Jordan. At some point, if I have him on the show, we'll talk more Avatar. But I know you're watching that. What other types of animes and whatnot have you been keeping up with, or like what types of shows are like your favorites?
Just regular shows or just anime or anime? Any?
I'd say like anime shows, yeah, like animated shows.
Oh man, it's been a while since I'm trying to think of what anime, because I don't think of them as animated, right? Like that.
Right.
Like I think of shows as just shows.
They're just shows.
Watch, like Avatar, for example, like it's as good as any show.
Right.
Like it's I can't think of something. I mean, I know I have favorites for sure.
Okay. What are some of those?
Even with that, Ghost in the Shell was one that was like the original series. Like
okay, yeah, I was gonna say Ghost in the Shell, but which one?
What is it? What's something complex? What is it called?
Oh, standalone.
Complex. Yeah. Wow, you're actually a bigger fan than me. Yeah, that I think that was the first show I was like, oh wow, there's probably more to anime here, so maybe I need to watch
Mm.
that. Naruto, I watched some of that, and it was the best thing ever when I watched the first season.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think things just fizzled
Oh
as they just
no.
kept adding more and more time.
Yeah.
Um,
That's a long one too. There's a lot of to
it
unpack
is,
in that one.
and I'm trying to find like a abridged version or whatever they call them, just to like
Oh
go
yeah.
through it fast, maybe. But again, like the fight scenes. So that's the thing is like seeing Avatar fight scenes after watching Naruto's fight scenes. I'm like, wow, like that made me. I'm not saying like they're bad, but like Naruto fight scenes are so insanely
Yeah.
good
Yeah. Yeah.
that you can just watch like a compilation of them and you're like, okay, yeah, this is amazing. Like all the ninjas and all the characters, it
Mhm.
has some like really good characters in it. So
The animation on
trying to
those
think
things
of
is
other
wild,
shows.
man. I liked what was the one? Demon Slayer, I think. Was one of the newer ones, but they had some crazy animation. I know My Hero Academia has had some
I
pretty
haven't watched that.
pretty
Yeah, I heard
awesome
about that one as
animations.
well.
We started watching on Netflix. Well, I started watching Hunter x Hunter because I'm late and I'm dumb apparently, so I needed to catch up on that, which is a good one. It's got good pacing, I find, even for being as old as it is. Which is old, but anyway. But we started watching the B&A one from Trigger Studios, the guys that made Kill la Kill. That thing is, it's like there's the whole system of how they do their show, right? Which is like, okay, oh, you're this beast girl and you've got this, whatever, and there's the plot. But like the color and like the way they've styled that show is awesome. Like they're using all of these cool like hyper fuchsias and blues and stuff. Like it kind of looks like the KQSFL shirt, in a way, for the way that they're like the colors they're choosing. So I'm looking at it for that and it's like, whoa, this is crazy. But then there's the other side, which is like, oh, it's Zootopia again. I think there's a meme going around because they had Zootopia, Beastars, and now B&A. They're like, oh, these are all the same show.
Oh, and of course, because of Jordan, I start watching some JoJo. So that was
JoJo.
was another. How far are you into JoJo? 'Cause
Oh, we crushed JoJo. It made it my mission. I looked at my producer. I said, "You're watching JoJo because you got to understand these references." We've got it so much to the point now where every time we travel or go anywhere and we see a stone face, it could be like a architecture, it could be a mosaic, whatever. We went to the Versace mansion in Miami and they've just covered in them, just all these ornate things. And so we start shooting these videos and playing the little the music and then just flicking the camera.
The music in that show is just something else. Like it is.
It's a great use of motif, isn't it?
Yeah,
because it's the same song. But
there's
like
so many things about that show that's like it's almost like the people who did it were like into like theater or like
oh yeah,
I don't know, like yeah, like it's like it came from somewhere else. Like it didn't come in from like regular TV, I guess. Or,
no.
like, maybe they were like into like I don't know musicals or something, and then actually I wouldn't be surprised if it was like musicals.
It does kind of fit that way.
Okay, I would love a JoJo musical.
Uh-oh.
I'm not gonna.
I feel like that would work.
Huh?
I feel like that would work. I don't even like musicals, but I would go see the JoJo
either.
musical.
I think that it will just be so dramatic and just that needs to happen.
JoJo the musical. That's it. You heard it here first in the Lazy J. That's funny, man. I love that show. There's something about like how they because I mean every anime ever makes a JoJo reference, and now that we've seen JoJo, you can point them out and it's like oh, but they all do. So like to me, like I wonder, JoJo's not old, and like the style of animation and the tools they had when it was made are like it's not a freaking Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball is old as dirt.
You don't have the mouth moving and nothing else in the background is moving.
Yeah, like the style that they took
so
to do certain things and the way they elongate stuff and like use perception in space. Like there's a lot of highbrow things that go on, but then it never takes itself too seriously. It's always like serious business, but still just I'm gonna win because I'm cool. but everyone is so serious, so like it just compounds on itself, and everything about it's just funny, you know?
I don't know what the term is in TV shows, even like any kind of story, video games or whatever. Usually like shows like would have like there's the reality that exists in that show, and you can't break it, right? Like it's like it is acceptable, for example, for Game of Thrones to have dragons, like that's
Right.
just part of it,
Right.
right? And you would break it by having that dragon not die or something like that, and
Right.
people would get upset. With JoJo, they just kept going and going and going. Like I watched the first season. I don't even want to spoil like the painful parts. But
Right,
it's,
right.
Out of nowhere, it just turns from being this like London like fancy British people into like, oh, now the whole house is burning and they are fighting inside it.
Right.
And it's like, oh, okay. Like, I was like, okay, that is cool. It's like, oh, this guy is now pretty much like some kind of a Dracula vampire.
Yeah. It's like a real 0 to 100 of Paddington to like Castlevania.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and it keeps going. It's like, oh, this guy. Oh, now it's like all about you controlling your energy, and this guy's coming in to teach you, and it's like,
Right.
okay. And then you go to Brazil. It's like now there's Nazis, and it's like, okay, like where is this show gonna stop? But they haven't really set up that line to like
Yeah.
stop somewhere. They just keep going. Like whatever theme that they want, they just put in. And it just fits with the theme. It's like, oh, now we're in New York, and there's these, I don't know, like this guy's they like dealt with racism at some point. Like there was an episode,
did.
like they had like a racism part, and I was like, what? Like I was like, this is cool, but also like that is so unexpected because we were just in London, like the generation before. We almost had a Titanic because there was a situation in like the ship.
Yep.
I don't know, man. That show is amazing.
I can only imagine for somebody that's just like watching this part of the episode being just like, what the hell are they talking about?
What are they talking?
Right, like with Titanic in London, racism. What? Like, there weren't any black people in Titanic. What do you mean? Leonardo DiCaprio.
The Aztecs in there. Yeah.
Oh,
it's a lot.
It's so good, man. There's a lot. And you mentioned the reality and like how things work in shows. And we're talking about shows, and I promise we'll get to KQ stuff. We'll get to the KQ stuff. It's the Lazy J. It's coming. You never know. But one of the shows, I made a point. I was like, yo, we got to talk about this show. Black Mirror. We're in season 6. We're living it live. It's 2020. I know you haven't seen them all yet, but
I haven't seen the episode that you talked. I haven't seen anything.
Oh, you haven't seen it yet? Okay, so one of the things we were talking about is this concept, and maybe some of the folks, when we go back and look at it, it'll be interesting. But there are a couple episodes of Black Mirror that almost like eerily match up with certain elements, obviously, of real life, but like noticeably for the Killer Queen scene. So we'll talk about one of them. I don't want to spoil the episode for you. But like the general premise of this episode, it's called Nosedive, I think. Let me Google this real quick. I'm pretty sure it's Nosedive. Nosedive. Yeah. This is the opening of season 3 of Black Mirror, episode 1. So Nosedive, the entire premise of it is in that reality, because they kind of shift and they do different things every episode. But in this one, you've got a world that's been set up, a society that's been set up that the actual currency that affects your life is social currency, right? So like in our world, you've got money, you've got like connections and stuff like that. In this world, it's all social currency. So like all the likes and comments and things you get on social media literally make impact on the types of cars you can buy, the types of areas you can live in, the types of jobs you can have. If you're only a bottom feeding, social person and not a lot of people like you, well, you can be a janitor or a fields person. But if like everybody likes you, you can be a celebrity, you can be a CEO, you can be this, you can be that. So like your quality of life is now judged by, how popular and how well are you on Facebook and like social media and stuff. So the character in the show, at the very beginning, she's just going about her stuff and everyone's really smiley and like, you want to leave a good impression on everybody and, oh, hey, cool, I'll like your thing. That's such a great thing. But like the underlying thing behind it is I'm going to like it because hopefully you'll like mine. And if you're at a higher status than me, you liking my thing brings me up. But like if you're at a lower status than me, it doesn't really do much for me. So like there's this whole dichotomy thing. And one of the things I was kind of noticing along those lines in the Killer Queen kind of national scene, and you've been in it longer than me, so maybe you can kind of attest to this, but there's this thing where like at some point you get into this game of how many people do I know in the thing that I am doing? And how can I leverage those relationships and connections I form with those people to advance certain things within that community? So that could mean, you know, having access to playing with certain people or on certain teams. That could mean connections into learning certain strategies or kind of working into certain situations where you can work things out with certain people. Or, you know, if you know a guy from Portland, for example, you can learn the Portland style. If you know someone from New York, you can go and learn the New York style or Chicago style or what have you. So it's like, you start to then, as a new person in the scene, figuring out who should I be talking to, you know?
Oof.
And there's like a thing that everyone kind of does. But I was kind of picking up on this even from South Florida. There's like some folks in the community there and whatnot that would, you know, skip out and, you know, go into other states and start talking to other people, building relationships and figuring things out. And I think there's a healthy way to do that, right? And you can bring knowledge back and like enrich yourself and kind of just learn and grow. And then there's like an unhealthy way to do that where you're literally trying to like stepping stone yourself up some kind of a imaginary hierarchy that gets created around competition to like elevate yourself in a certain position, like no matter what, at whatever cost. So I was going to get your commentary on that in general, just kind of think, is that something you've kind of noticed or seen? Or, you know, what are your general thoughts about how that naturally happens, you know? Just drop that bomb on you real quick.
Yeah.
Even Gray Smoke was like, I ain't touching that one. Gray Smoke was on the couch behind you. He dipped out.
I was like, what, me talking to me? You want to answer me? Cat, you want to go in?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, one, I'll watch that episode for sure.
It's so good.
That I would really love to do that.
Yeah, it's really good.
I mean, sadly, that is also society. Like, I hate to put it that way. But
yeah,
like,
it is.
Like, I agree with you with everything that you said, but at the same time, it's like, at some way, you kind of have to, like, set up almost like a... If you would have talked more shows, I would say The Wire, by the way. Just always want to mention it, because that was my trade with the show. One of the characters says, has a saying, which is Omar Little, which is amazing. He says, a man gotta have a code, which I just... It's a great way to just summarize. I think everyone needs to kind of like set up their own like moral status as far as, you know, what they think is right and wrong. You know, there's a lot of things that, you know, you might think that, you know, talking to someone some way might be, you know, acceptable because that's how everyone does it, and you might think that is wrong because that is social engineering, right, or something like that. That's where things like this fall in. And that's when it gets hard as far as like going into someone and be like, hey, maybe having this system is not the correct way to doing it. You know, like I get that, you know, you're trying to, let's say, like want to win everything and so on. In its core, that is not wrong, but maybe how you are doing it is not right.
Right,
you know? Like, is it acceptable to, I don't know, like pay your teammates to play with you? You know, like I would do that. That would be kind of like teaching in a way. Maybe why not? You know, like that would be kind of like coaching. You know, like actually, yeah, coaching is a good example because you know you played Smash as well. Like
yeah, StarCraft too. StarCraft coaches.
That too. Jordan actually coaches as well. Shout out to Jordan. But like, how do you look into like someone like you know like some kid hiring people to like get better at Fortnite?
Right.
It kind of feels uneasy, and that feeling of being uneasy is where this whole discussion of like what is right and what is wrong. I can definitely like, you know, with KQ of course there's that, but like, is that wrong? Is it wrong that the people who want to win? Is it wrong that the people who want to make the best team make the best team and kick the rest of the scene out, and they think that the best way to, you know, the best way for them to improve is
Right.
to like only play with this group of people and not everyone else, and because they don't want to lose and they go internationally, because their idea of you know, their end award is like, you know, winning a tournament
Right.
instead of like, you know, helping their teammates. So I don't know, man. Like that's I don't have an answer because it really depends on the person, right? Like if you ask me personally, like, is it okay to do X? I can give you an answer. I can be like, okay, yeah, I don't think it's a good idea to stack up your team and not spread out the talents, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not a good idea, but it just becomes like a really odd, like,
Yeah, it's
situation by
tough.
situation.
It's tough to figure out and pinpoint exactly. And you're right. I think because
Yeah,
you know
but
we're
I
in this
mean-
situation now, and everything's kind of coming to a halt. All the tournaments have stopped. All of the draft nights have stopped, and like the get-togethers. Eventually, at some point, if we get out of the end of this at all, then we're gonna go back out. We're gonna start over in a way. You know, not from scratch, but you know, it's gonna be this new thing, and there's gonna be an opportunity to then kind of reconnect, reestablish, rethink some things, rebuild some scenes, and you know, kind of rethink how we approach the game. And I've been thinking about that just because it's, you know, what else are you doing with your life without Killer Queen but thinking about Killer Queen? So it's been interesting. I'm trying to think about that and thinking, well, how do we do this? And specifically from the standpoint of how do you, like, what's important, and then how do you go about achieving those things which are important? I think under normal circumstances, and we've seen the same thing now too, with like businesses and people who are just having a rough time with COVID and like restrictions, and do we open, do we not open, wear a mask, and you know, this guy, and all these things. It's like, what's important? So there starts to be that type of a conversation, and I wonder when things get back to normal, what that's going to look like for the Killer Queen scene as a whole. What types of lessons we may have learned from that point within our own scenes. I know for South Florida, and Charlotte's been here already, so I've always kind of looking and seeing, okay, what did they do? But we've already gotten to the point now where we're at that kind of like 2025 cap for the core of people that would come out to just play, go to the bar specifically to play. And we're trying to figure out, how do we get other people in, and how do we balance the teams, because they're kind of like set, you know, and you get the same results and all that type of thing. So I wonder about that, and I wonder how, like I was saying, the social currency is going to kind of come into the play of that for, you know, the what do you call it, the second wave. Not of COVID, we already have that. Of Killer Queen.
I want to mention something actually. Speaking of like so I have a bone to actually pick with you, man. It's tough.
Bone time.
So yeah, is there any dramatic music that the producer can have? Any
right, I know. I don't. All our stuff is really chill and lo-fi. It'll be fine. It'll be like fighting Isabel in Smash Bros.
Well, I mean, it's nothing serious, but like, I mean, it's mostly about how, you know, about me and like kind of my view on KQ and how I play it, why I play it, right? And it's not a bone, of course, I'm joking, but you were talking to Kyle about like, you know, the different queens in Charlotte, and you kind of mentioned me, and then you throw in this, you know, but he plays for fun, you know, it's whatever, you know, which is fair, and I think, you know, there's a reason to kind of like dive into why I play for fun, right? Like why I have this quote unquote fun idea that I play, because there was a time when I actually was trying to, you know, get good, right? And become a good queen. Now I don't know if we will run into the same. I mean, there's a lot to go with it, but every time I practiced, I always like. And I don't want to deter people by saying this, but like every time I practiced and gotten like really good, it's hard to get to the mentality of like, okay, I need to practice, I need to go, you know, put in the hours and so on. Actually, let me revert back. When I first started playing Killer Queen, I was like one of the organizers, right? Like I was like,
okay, like Scene Dad type.
Similar. I guess yeah. So. Originally, it was me, Wine Lesko, and other people who like came in from volleyball. We used to play volleyball, and then we used to like want to do something else afterward and go drinking. And then our bar opened, and we used to play in the bar. And then we were like, and then we realized there was a group of regulars who was showing up, right? Especially on the weekends and stuff like that. And it was just tough because the place was crowded, so on. So we were like, okay, let's meet up on a Monday. And it was one of the most fun like days. Like the first experience when I actually told people to show up on Monday, and then they actually showed up on that Monday. It was like. Because like you see all of these people, like you see them once or twice, and they were good, like good for that level. It was almost like kind of like a movie montage of like meeting the Avengers for the first time. It was like oh, it's those two guys, they're getting a beer together and they work as vets and find out the game, and then it's like switches camera. But I guess fast forward, like someone asked me like, and I can probably ask the same question afterwards, like. He asked me like, so why do you do all of this? And I was like, I find it fun.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's enjoyable for me to like. This is the organizing, of course.
Right.
It's like, oh, so like, why do you organize? And he was like, I mean, that's cool that you're doing it, but I'm just curious of like why you're doing it. Like, are you getting paid for it? He probably thought that maybe I might be getting paid or something.
Yeah, like from the bar or something.
Yeah, I was like, no, I just enjoy it. Like, I like the game. I like the people who show up and play. It was kind of starting to be like something special, and it was something fun and like silly in a way. Especially at the beginning, there's a snail, and it's just like you have that quirky aspect out of it.
Yeah.
And but yeah, and I feel like that kind of like just like cursed me that comment, because every time I get to a point where I'm putting in a lot of time into KQ, like I'm like, okay, I want to become good. I'm playing Queen now, which I picked up Queen like really late compared to everyone. Like it was after people like John K showed up. I was one of the first. I was like an objective runner main because I was like, I don't know. I've always played like support. Like I play medic in Team Fortress, and whatever multiplayer game, I like to play support. I like to be the guy behind the scenes, like getting stuff, helping the team. And then at some point, like objective runner was just kind of like had less of an impact when you don't have a team to practice with. So
right. Yeah, you need the defense around you. Yeah.
Yeah, so that kind of fell, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna Queen because everyone wants the warrior, everyone wants the Queen. But everyone wants the Queen, and that's when I started growing. But I was like, guess I'll play Queen now, and of course, putting in the time when you have people like Kyle and John K and Jorge at the time, I think was queening, and it's just like there's like so many good queens in Charlotte, and it's like trying to like compete with them is like just one loss after another, right? And it's like
it's the tough road, yeah.
And the tough road is like there's just no way like I would have been able to like attract the strong players, and that's honestly I don't want to say burnt out, but that's kind of like when I reached a point and I was like, it is what it is.
Right.
I will be good enough when I queen, and I still practice. But every time I put in the time, I'm like I start like practicing and so on. I go to the bar and I'm like, why am I doing this?
Yeah, why am I doing it?
Yeah, and the other thing is I feel bad saying that because there's a lot of good KQ players. But every time that happens, I'm like, I can put the time towards something else in my life.
Right.
That I need to do. And it hurts actually because like with KQ players, some players actually like at some point like didn't see that. They were like, oh, Mars just quitting on us, or he doesn't like us or whatever. And I'm like, no, I started a new job,
right.
And I'm trying to like put in extra time toward that, and that's when it gets tough. It's like, and then I just
then people you want to make sure your intentions are clear and people understand. Yeah, so that can be kind of tough.
Yeah, and I go back and forth, right? And as I go back and forth, like I practice and everything, and I want to go. Like I know when I go to Florida and so on, like I actually practice before I go there, but like it's tough. It's just not possible for me to put in the amount of hours
Right,
as
right.
other people, and it just feels like work. And I'm like, why am I doing this?
Oh, that's the
So,
worst. Yeah. I mean,
so why? Yes, I guess. Go ahead.
it comes back kind of to what you were saying, where it was like, why do you do all this? Oh, it's fun. And there does come a point where when you're trying so hard to do something or you're working really hard, like right before a tournament, you're trying to make sure that you're giving your teammates the best chance, whatever position you're at, that you're on your game, that you're hitting your tech, that you're doing your taps, and you're reading things, and you're seeing stuff, and you're picking up the, pincers, and there's just so much stuff you're like looking for, and none of it is anything that attracted you to the game. Like, I don't think anybody walks into Killer Queen, they're like, oh, sick, you can J-dive in this game? Dope. Like, no one does that, right? Everyone's just like, oh, cool, snail, purple round grapes. Okay, go ant people. Yay,
5 people yell nonstop.
So
drink beer.
Right, yeah, beer. Oh, cup holders. Like, those are the things that are exciting to you. You know what I mean? So then, I don't know. It's this weird cycle of how long can you have fun after, like, if you're Mr. Anderson, to just do like a Matrix thing, how long can you have fun after you've become Neo?
Yeah.
Like, I think he was having a pretty good time that first movie, kicking Agent Smith's ass.
He was flying at the end,
right?
Like,
but by that third one, he's just like over this shit. Like, he's just like, whatever, man. My girl's dead. Like, whatever. I'm out. Machine dude, do stuff. Like, you know what I mean? So how long can you have fun as Neo? I think
he should have quit on the first one and just
right
done, right?
just whatever, man. Go skip town, something. But it's a weird thing. How long can you keep the game fun? So, like, when we've been talking to people, and they say the same thing. Like, I was talking to my boys, like, why do you keep playing? Every game has the potential to be a really great game, and great games are really fun. But, like, what is a great game? Is a great game played at, like, the highest level competitive? Is a great game just like a grueling ping pong match back and forth and famine and, just last a long time? Is a great game really short because something stupid and funny happened? Like, what are these things? And how do you hold on to them? And I think for me, like, if I'm answering your question, like, why do I do it? It's I enjoy the strategy behind it. So I like the idea of people with that kind of strategic mindset coming behind something and just like playing this group chess together is the thing I like. Like StarCraft, same thing. The most fun thing to me is when you're playing StarCraft, maybe you're doing like organized, like 2-on-2s or 3-on-3, something balanced. Maybe you're in this crazy like 5-person free-for-all where one of you's getting fucked. Like, and it's just, who is it gonna be? But there's something fun to me about, here's everything that I could think to outdo you, or I could think to like survive against you in this circumstance, and it's against everything you thought to try to do the same, and here's the result of what happened behind that. And since it's relatively low stakes, it's not like a tournament where if I lose, I'm going to be real sad. Or if I win, you're going to be real sad. It's just like everyone's having fun. So there's something, that's where the fun is for me. Like, I like tournament and I like competing. And I do have like drives to like, oh, I want to do this thing. I want to meet this goal. I want to try that thing. And I'll keep it internal for me. But like, if you're not doing that with the right group of people, if you're not doing that in a cool place, we always talk about Hive Hustle being the dopest tournament, even though like by KQ standards, I think a lot of the national folks thought it was a really weird tournament for like the way it was set up and, the way it was run and some stuff. It was our first one, so we don't know. Yeah, this is cool. Great.
It's good.
But like LA's a cool town. The weather is good. You know what I mean? Like, there's other factors that tie into it to make it a good experience. So I'm always like thinking about those things. Like you mentioned bar owners. I assume Abari, has probably got their stuff together. And I think Glitch is a really good bar too. But like, what if you just, you're at some bar and they're just not taking care of the cab? I heard the Asheville cab is just like falling apart.
Yep.
Or the bar owners just don't care, or it's just not a good vibe over there. But like, that's where your scene is. Like,
yeah, that's just like, and those are the things that are like out of control that just make it painful. So yeah, you mentioned the idea of fun too, and that, like having other people who like have the same mentality of what your idea of fun is huge, right?
Yeah.
I remember when I played in a league night, and I remember like I took screenshots of games of the maps, day map, night map, and I was like, okay, this is where you open, and I drew the lines and everything, and I gave them videos to watch, and I was like, okay, just watch this clip here and so on. Then I met them the Wednesday after, and I was like, hey, did you guys watch it? And they're like, nah, actually.
That's the worst.
And,
Just at me next time.
And again, like I'm coming in from like, I mean, I was not that strong into StarCraft as much as like Jordan and so on, but I still like my idea to get better in the game is you need to watch the replays.
Yeah.
Right? Like that was one of the first things I did when we had Killer Queen in Charlotte. Is I went in and I watched videos from other cities, and we found out about some of the glitches and stuff like that. But it wasn't even close. Like we knew like we won the first tournament. We just knew everything. We were beyond like we took the game differently, and I'm talking me and like some of the volleyball people, Lesko and so on. But yeah, like I'm saying, like as you have a scene of like 25 people, it is really hard to attract the players who are the same people who would go in and watch those replays.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna have all 25 people going in there and watching the tournament, after, you're not going to have a tournament on Friday, the group's on Friday, and you're going to have everyone you've seen, watching the footage. That just doesn't happen.
Nope.
Some people just like to, go drinking, go eat dinner somewhere. That is fine. And that was also another, I think, issue that I ran into early on that kind of got me, like, into this better mindset as far as, like, how I should be playing the game. Because I think there's just some things that are outside of your control. Like you mentioned, like the bar and everything, and also the people, and some people having the same mindset. Like I know your mindset. Like you mentioned, you were talking. No, it was your show. It was, I think, your birthday or something.
Oh.
You and Scoops, and you talked about like.
Oh yeah, Scoops was doing that one.
Yeah, shout out Scoop. You were talking about how like you have different standards as far as like the game, right? Like you want to win. You have your mental idea of like what is acceptable for a tournament is different than how other people have it, and that can definitely play out in the how you should build up your team. What are your options when you look at your scene? I mean, you are one of the top queens in your in your city, so you will have an easier time. And again, going back to the whole social thing, you will have an easier time picking people from your own scene. You will have an easier time getting those people to travel with you to another scene. That will not be the case for a queen who can't hit a J-dive, right?
Right. Depending on where you're going.
If you are a super nice person, then maybe the other people can agree to travel with you, but at some point you just cannot do that. So yeah, that just plays like a big factor into it, and I always wish like we just had like an infinite number of just people. Or that's legitimately unrealistic. That would be tough. But
Right.
Having like a larger regular players who would just show up and play, and also out of those players, I would love to have more players who would be the ones like who want to like watch replays, right? Who want to break the game down, and also even with that, also like be adults,
Yeah,
like,
man.
not go in and like punch a monitor or something like that.
Oh my gosh, no, too soon, Ammar, too soon.
Dude, COVID's been around for like 3 years now. Is it still too soon?
It's still too soon. It's the worst.
Sorry.
No, you're right. You could be onto something too. Just like the amount of people in the scene. I don't know. I know Minneapolis isn't having a very good time right now, but I do know that pre-COVID and pre-crazy. Well, maybe the crazy was always there under the surface, but they have a huge scene out there. It's just the stupid amount of people, probably because of college and all the stuff and whatever. But like, just scene's huge. Scene's big, man. And they have their like local tournaments, and they're like more teams than Bumble Bash. Like it's just tons and tons of people. And I'm like, wow, that seems like that'd be really cool. Because you do have, like, regardless, as long as there are people on the planet, there's going to be different types of people. And Gray Smoke knows what I'm talking about. Very attentive in the background there. He's taking notes right now. He's going to take some notes. Or maybe think about taking some notes. I don't know. But you're going to have different people. So being able to pick out who jives well with who, like which mindsets jive well, which other mindsets. Because it really doesn't make any sense. And I don't think it's like detrimental in any way. If you have somebody who is just a pragmatist about the game and, they see things in a very pragmatic way, A to B, and that's fine. That's a way of thinking, and that's very useful in a lot of circumstances. But to a person who sees things through beer glasses, that's not gonna be a match. That's not gonna happen. Yeah. We've seen that at draft nights where one person will be like, hey man, we really need to split right now because they're doing this and we're doing this. So can you go jump on the snail? And that's the right move. But snail dude just wants to be a snail dude, or wants to be a berry dude. So nah, I'm gonna dunk these berries because that's fun, And so in that moment, how do you either navigate it or you don't? You know what I mean? So I think if you have a bigger subset of people to play with in a scene, that's step number one. So to me, it's just recruit as many people as possible that think the game is fun. Just get them in there. And then from that, they will naturally start to decide how they want to interact with the game and with the other people who are doing it. And then savvy organizers like yourself can then figure out, okay, we need to have a draft night. We need to have a casual pickup night. We need to have a hardcore tournament night that you got to pay $10 and build a team. Yep. And then you have to have just open whatever come out on Thursdays cause reasons night, and it's okay, then people decide what they want to do, and maybe that works, maybe it doesn't, maybe that's ideal, I don't know, but I feel like there's something there that's missing as far as scene building now.
Building. I'm really interested into because I heard a lot of people who are talking about it, but they're all of them, but most of the people that I heard are also the people who are good in KQ, right? It's like Woody, for example. It's if Woody is gonna talk to me about building a team, actually they had that in the Chicago event that was 2 weeks ago.
Oh yeah, they were doing their panels.
Yeah, they did that panel, and they talked about chemistry between the team, and Damish was in there, and Damish is amazing at building teams, and he looks, he pretty much talked about the people that he's looking for, and their mental state pretty much, and he just likes people who want to improve, right? Because he also it's almost like I guess he is the leader in that way, so he leads his team, and he finds pieces that fit that, and he has an easier time finding those people.
Right.
Right. He's
crazy good.
The best
man.
queen,
yeah,
I don't know.
Oh, he heard it. Ammar said it. He
has the trophies. How it's like Shaq,
oh yeah.
Rings, Ernie, rings.
Right.
Which can just go around and show his
right.
his rings all day. His queen rings though. There's
queen rings.
People who got more. Yeah.
Right.
That counts. That is. But yeah, just to be clear there, I am actually not an organizer, right? I just want to say I'm no longer organizing anything in Charlotte, so don't, because I mainly mentioning that because I know it's too much work, and I'm so happy that other people are doing that.
Yeah.
So thank you to all of that. What I want to mention is that in the last league that I had, which is the same team that I had for the Charlotte Invitational, I had an amazing team. And it was because we all had the same mindset of, a similar mindset as far as how we want to play, right? I told them hey, I really have work, it's this is my after work thing, so let's have it being fun, and also let's win a game or two, while we can.
Right.
I knew I had Matt on my team. Gosh, Matthew, you got his last name. Call him Matt. And Matt, Aaron was a good objective runner, and she's super chill. It was between her and the other objective runner. I told them, okay, you guys are in charge of the objectives. Do your thing. I'm not gonna it's gonna be between me, Matt, and I forgot who was my speed warrior. Gosh, I feel bad. I know because we replaced them with Sydney in the tournament because Sydney wanted to queen in the league.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I met Sydney.
Yeah.
Sydney's a fellow Wakanda member.
Oh yeah. By the way, this means love. By the way, in sign language. I don't know
That
if
in
you know
sign
that.
in like actual sign language, that's what it means.
Yeah, so
I didn't
that's
know
where
that.
they got it from. Yeah, I looked it up and I was like, this is because I was wondering if it was in the comics or
Mm.
something.
Right, right.
Because every time I hear something forever, I just think Wu-Tang Forever.
Yeah.
Like it never clicked with me, and I was like, who did it first, right?
Right,
Like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
wanted to know.
It's the wrong W.
But yeah, like so I had that team, and I'm still happy that I played with that team because I would walk out and I would be the one angry, and I love playing with Aaron, and Aaron would be like, "It's okay, it's just just having fun.
Mm.
It's all good." Because I would be upset with myself because we had one berry left and I died, and I'm like,
Right.
"Why? We
Yeah,
couldn't
that
get
queen,
in," and
that queen
we
regret. Yeah.
yeah, and it was the team was just like in the same mindset where like they would tell me like, "Hey, this is fine, like it's okay, Ammar, like whatever, we're not mad at you,"
Mm-hmm.
which means so much.
Yeah.
And that is something for me personally, as someone who like takes losses so hard on myself,
Right.
even if it's the casual game.
All right. All right. Stop playing
which I-
StarCraft.
no, I don't do 1v1. Which is like, if I were to build a team of like strong players, I would want everyone on my team to be that supportive.
Mhm.
To be like not just supportive, but like extra supportive.
Right.
Because I know where my flaw is. I know my flaw is that I'm gonna struggle,
Right.
beating myself over missing a J dive mid game. But if they tell me it's fine, then not fine. But like if they tell me like, hey, just keep going,
Yeah.
then I'm going. I kind of need that cheer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
That's a good point. I never really thought about it like that. I mean, my team
'Cause
is
if you-
arguably right. So like,
'cause-
I think about how that team is and like why it works so well. And you always know there's certain things that like your team is doing that's good. That's why you stay on that team, because otherwise you build a new team or something or find a new team. But I think if I'm thinking about it in the way that you were talking about it, where it's like, hey, I'm a queen, I know what my faults are, so I'm gonna build a team that's gonna help, provide some strength around that particular fault. I don't know if it's necessarily like a fault, but I do know one thing that like I guess it's like this. It's like a multiplier, right? If I can be on a team and I can do a bunch of coaching and like teaching and like showing and doing a lot of outpouring from me to others, and like go in that teacher mode, that's one thing. But like if I'm doing that, because I'll always do it, but then other people are doing the same thing, and then it becomes like this constant, of knowledge. I think that's probably the number one thing that, thinking about it from the way you just said it, is like, oh, that's why arguably works so well.
and I can see that. Yeah, I can see that from all the players that you had on your team. Like they are all like good communicators, and I love KQ because it's like there's just like so many cool personalities, like in a way.
Right.
Like everyone just carries themselves in a way.
Right.
But like at the same time, it's just like, yeah, it's just amazing. I love KQ, so I love the people in KQ. It's like going to another scene. It's like you see people, and it's like seeing celebrities because you don't see them so long. So
I
like,
didn't buy the hype at first, but I'm like, oh no, this is actually kind of cool. Like,
yeah,
and like the style of play is different too,
So all of arguably, I can see your team. I mean, without really studying that closely, I can see all of you guys doing that. So that's you guys kind of have where someone can have a team that is just like the chill team or the I don't know the we're gonna laugh and drink nonstop team. Which
those teams exist. Those teams exist.
And they can do super well by just being like super loud and just playing for like high plays, right?
Yep.
Like that's the thing is like when you travel to other scenes and you see other teams playing, it's like, oh well, it's a bad example because New York usually wins everything. But it's like, it's like this New York team is just gonna hit every pincer. They're gonna play this style and so on. And then you see them playing against like like a Woody team with like a Dan Baron and Ling Ling, and it's like out of nowhere, just like I mean, of course they like pins and everything. I can't even. I'm not that good to even like.
Yeah, they're wild.
Compare anything, but like they have like so many good individual plays that it's like, how did you even pull this? How did you even pull it? How did you like Minneapolis play is actually a good example.
Mm.
Like, how did you even pull like a stance or something like that? It's like out of nowhere that coming up with that different style with
Mm-hmm.
like being extra aggressive and like just warriors doing different things that you're just not used to, like the same momentum can
Yeah.
just like changes the change the whole game, and it makes it so fun to watch. Where if I go in and I watch like a league night from a certain scene, I might not get the same excitement from like a traveling scene coming in, and it's like, oh, that's a completely different play style,
Right.
and it
Mm-hmm.
goes even more crazy when you have like mixed scenes, right? So like one of the best
Mm.
finals that I saw was the Phoenix. Uh, oh gosh, why am I so bad with teams? I think it was I'm gonna name the queens, but it was Walshy and Andy,
Okay.
and
Oh yeah, Andy. Yeah, Andy.
and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Andy, yeah. So Andy, Hell, Sam, gosh, Ling Ling, and I'm so bad at names. Anyway, the the whole team, but like that finals was just so unpredictable. Like
Mm.
it's predictable in a KQ way, where like you see what team is pushing the objective and so on,
Right. Right.
but you just didn't know what was gonna happen next. What was going to be the deciding factor? What was the moment in KQ that happens where you just don't know, like where the queen cannot recover from this?
Right.
In any point, you can have almost like a UFC style thing where like a queen dies twice, and it's like, okay, the queen needs to recover. She
Right.
just tagged the gate,
Right.
and it's like, I miss KQ.
Yeah.
Now, like that's the level of KQ that I watch that I don't get from other games. I love watching KQ for
Mm-hmm.
sure. Um, and actually, for a time, I had a phase where like a lot of people would say like, "Oh, it's just Ammar in the chat," and I would always be like everyone's chat, just
Oh yeah.
watching
Right. Right. And the
on
fiends.
Twitch.
Hugo was
That was
doing
one
that
thing.
too. Yeah.
That was one thing I loved about South Florida. By the way, you guys came in hard when it came to like streams. Like you guys,
We
were
had
still
hybrid
not
hype, so that
struggling.
helped. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys had super hype matches, and it was like all of the jokes, all of the, I think, almost like Smash Brothers, like comedy style,
Yeah.
like all the Pele.
Hybrid hype.
I
They
don't.
do a lot of fighting game community streams, so like they would do Smash Bros. So it's funny you pick up on that.
Yeah, it was quite clear, and I just loved that. I loved having that different, and that's the thing about Kiki is like every scene is different in a way. Every tournament is different, every bar is different, and that's what makes it unique in a way. Where like I would enjoy watching a South Florida stream or go to a tournament because I know I will have like that complete different experience that I will just not have anywhere else.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Same with like Columbus. Like I would go to like Winter Cluster and it's like, oh, it's the Columbus people. Oh, it's most of them came in from, well, they used to come in from like a fighting games background,
Mm.
and now they are bringing in like, I don't know, like there's a lot of like art people in there. That like just like it just kind of gives it its own vibe in a way
Mm-hmm.
that it just like makes it a different scene that I just enjoy like all of the personalities and characters in it.
Yeah,
It's
man. The variety, like that's probably the most unifying factor of the game. Like the games themselves, when you're playing them, there's variety there. The people you're playing with, there's variety, and it always gets stale when there's a lack of variety. So like if you're playing the game and it's the same teams winning all the time, oh, it's boring now. Or
Yeah.
if you're playing with the same people all the time, it's boring now. Or so you want to get out and just find some more variety. So like there's a fun element where you have to figure out what's fun and like stay the course with that and figure out how to navigate playing the game while staying true to that pillar. Then there's like the mindset pillar where we're trying to find people because it's a social game. So we got to find
Yeah.
people to gel with, and are you in my mindset or another mindset, or is there a sharing opportunity there? And then there's the variety side of it, because well, you can't just play against people who just everyone's in the same mindset as you, because then you're in a vacuum and you're not going to grow and you're not going to experience anything new. So you got to play other people. You got to play other cabs, find other quirks and things. And have those. Maybe it's like a trifecta pillar system in KQ to make like a good balance of everything, you know?
Yeah. No, totally. It's such a, and it's just really cool to like meet up other people who like have like one of the our first travel tournament was in Chicago, and it was KQ 16. Yeah, KQ 16.
Oh wow, okay.
And we went, and it was my first time in Chicago. I go in. I was talking to Drake Wan. He was him and Josh Eklo trying to bring us in, and I don't think Derek Wan even had like a profile picture or something like that. But we were talking on Facebook, and I was like, and I arrived like the day of the tournament, I think.
Oh.
So it was a huge mistake. You never do that. Don't give yourself a night to sleep. But I arrived. Did I? No, I did not. I'd get back. I arrived the day before.
Okay. Let it be known,
What
Ammar
was
did
it?
not scrub it up.
I don't fully remember like what like. What I remember for sure is that the first day I went in, Belia had a pre-game party. So like people were in her house, KQ people were in her house,
Okay.
which I never knew. Like it's like my first time meeting those people.
Right.
And Drake Wan was like, hey, yeah, just go to Belia's house. And to this day, like I was like, he said Belia, and I'm surprised we didn't touch on it, but like the English is not my first language, so like I never seen the name Belia before. So I
Yeah,
thought
it
he
is
was
an interesting
talking-
name.
I thought he was talking about location.
Oh. Go to
You know, like,
Belia
like,
downtown, you know.
A place. So I was like, oh, that's a cool name. And then he gave me the address, and I go in, and it's a house, and I thought it was a bar, I think. You know,
Right.
And then I go in, and of course, like I meet up all these people, and they were all like, oh, hey, how's it going? Of course, I assumed everyone in there was from Chicago, right? Because it was like, oh, this is the house. But they were from everywhere, and they were like so nice. And I remember just like sitting down. No one from Charlotte was like there yet, so I was still chatting with people, and I was like, this is like so cool.
Right.
Like, that was the point when I was like, there is more to this game than just you know, like a dumb. You know, I compared it to like things that I'd done in the past, compared to volleyball tournaments that I had and so on. And I was like, okay, yeah, you just play the game. Like the activity is the activity is the activity, and
Right.
that's it.
Right.
People don't hang out outside of this. There's nothing to learn. You
Right.
should probably not meet the other people who play volleyball. There's a lot of people that's just terrible. But for KQ, it was like an immediate like. It wasn't even like, oh, I belong here, as much as it is like, oh my gosh, this place is awesome.
Right.
Like, it was like, these people are awesome, and it's just, and the more I knew about it, the better it kind of got. I'm sorry, I feel like I jumped off.
No,
point there,
that's
but-
good, man. The only question I had was, at what point did Belia make you drink Malort against your will?
So I'm an anti-drinking person. I
Right.
drink.
Okay.
Always drink, right? Like that's not. But like the whole idea of cake that you need to drink to enjoy KQ is something that over time I developed. And I was actually gonna ask you, like, what are you drinking? What are you drinking? Are you drinking anything?
Well, you know, my wife told me I didn't have enough Everclear, so I drank some Everclear.
First level of drinking.
It's crystal clear H2O today in a mason jar.
Well, that is fitting
because I didn't
was
have
going to
enough.
I was going to say I'm drinking water.
Hey, twinning. Cheers.
And I'm only drinking water. I'm glad I'm not disrespecting your show by.
No, you're
having
fine.
it.
You're fine. The rule,
But
honestly, the rule is to drink something. I didn't say what. We've had
Fair.
somebody had who was that? Aaron Bobby. Aaron Bobby had milk in a wine glass. Fanciest glass of milk I've ever seen.
What was that? Like, is that Clockwork Orange?
Yeah, it's
style?
very Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, and these two dressed up as that.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, so generally I just try to kind of like not. I'm not trying to be better than it in a way, but I'm trying to just. I know there's a lot. You know, you can get addicted to alcohol, for example, and that's a serious problem.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, meeting KQ people is like, you know, I want to wish the best for them, and I don't want someone to feel like drinking is their way out. I've seen I've seen a lot of people drinking when they were not in a good mood, and I'm like, okay, you should not be drinking.
Right,
You know, like,
right.
it should not be, drunk. I guess I don't want to use the cuss word.
Well, like
you
it
should
comes
not be
back to
drunk.
what you were saying for like you got to be an adult, right? Because there's a lot of circumstances I feel like where one, if you're in an emotional state, and like, well, you just got to think about why am I doing the activity I'm doing? You know,
Yes.
if it's not
Yes.
drinking, if maybe your thing is like punching the wall. Well, am I punching the wall because I want to learn to be a karate master and this is part of my training? Or am I punching the wall because I'm angry, so that's what I do when I'm upset? There's probably better ways to deal with your anger besides, breaking your hand in a wall. So I think it's about trying to figure that out. Like, if I'm sad, maybe drinking as a vice isn't the thing I should do to tell my brain, this is the activity that will help me not be sad. And if I don't do this, I'm going to stay sad. Therefore, I will never actually deal with the problem that makes me sad, because when I drink, I then get impaired and I don't I just, go into this mode where I don't think about anything. So I think there's a lot of like cognitive, decision making you have to do to understand.
And it's tough,
right?
Because it's like alcohol is also like KQ is like, played in a bar, right?
Right.
So like at some point it's like I would feel, which I know I probably shouldn't, but like I would feel weird to go into a bar and only playing KQ, and especially for you guys, it's like free play.
Yeah.
It's like, I would feel like I'm not supporting the place that I'm in, and so I end up buying soda, which is not a good idea.
Right.
It's just like too sugary and so on.
Right.
And but I will answer you for the Malort.
For Malort. It was all coming back to Malort.
I don't. And that first tournament was amazing. Before I even get there, like we went and got like deep dish together as Charlotte people.
Oh, dope.
And it was a fun time. It was so good. I remember why it was. Wow. Anyway, Malort, let me answer the question again. It was after the tournament. The winning team was a team called Day, which was Draquan won. And it was one of the best games I've seen. He was the last queen, and he was just zigzagging throughout the whole map on Day map. And I think that's why they called themselves Day, is because like they were good at Day map.
They were good at Day map.
Cool name.
Right.
It was such a like a Korean name. I think this is what we said, like StarCraft Korean player.
Oh yeah.
But after the tournament, they had the traditional everyone gets a shot, and that was my first shot of Malort, and wasn't the last.
Wasn't the last.
So, I preached with my water, talk and everything.
Right.
The day after, of course, I usually give myself an extra day when I travel to new cities, make it a vacation kind of thing. I stay with Dan Barron. We can go back to Dan Barron because he's an amazing guy, and I want to talk about him some more. So I went and saw the, bean, whatever the cloud.
Oh yeah.
Called,
the bean? Yeah.
I did all the touristy stuff and hung out with a friend of mine, and then we went to a different bar, and I think that was a Sunday. I think that was a Sunday, so people were like, leaving town kind of thing. And or maybe it was a Monday. I think it was a Sunday. So we went to this like tiki bar, and I got made fun of because I didn't know the name of the cherry. It had a name, like some kind of a cherry that they put in like a cocktail that you can make.
Yeah, the starts with an M. I always butcher it. It's like the maraschino cherry or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
That it was like that. I was drinking and I drank too much, and I called it a sweet olive. and I remember Ling Ling was just making fun of me for the rest of the day about it.
Not Helen. Oh, that's funny. It is kind of a sweet olive, is it not? I mean, that's accurate.
No, I mean that bar was fun anyway, but then afterward, to make it even worse, speaking of Malort, there were a lot of like New York players in there, and that's when they taught me the stick, right? That was when they were like, oh, no, you gotta teach the stick. So like if you press the button 3 times from this, and you do stick, and it was fun. It was
right.
First time meeting was Anthony from Anthony and Marianne, and was it Marianne? I think it was Marianne. I don't remember who it was. It was Turbo was in there as well. But but we did what I call the Malort Wars.
The Malort Wars.
So I went in and bought shots of Malort,
Oh no.
and yeah, and it was. I just like put the. I think we just had like the Malort shots, like on top of the cab at some point, and the bar was like running out, and I wanted to have as many. It was like every time we lose a match, every time someone loses, someone has to take a shot.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was terrible.
The Malort Wars. That sounds like a really
Wars.
dark time in KQ history.
It was. Honestly, like Malort just doesn't bother me, and I'm not talking as like a strong drinker.
Just like the taste of it and everything.
I make fun of it as far as like, okay, this thing, you shouldn't drink it, but
Right.
that's mostly because of the alcoholic reasons.
Right.
It didn't really. Well, if you want to talk about something that is bad, snake venom.
Snake venom. There we go.
Apologies, not bad, but just different.
No, it's
Like,
bad.
that was-
It'll kill you. The snake venom in the veins take you right out. Like I was gonna say, between Malort, I know you've had Malort, I know you've had snake venom. So you posted on Facebook like this is me on snake venom.
Yes, I'm going to clip that video to make a perfect clip, and I'm gonna put your face as soon as you say like, drink that or whatever. Yeah, that was a menace to society.
Where were you? Was it a BB4 you had it, or was it before that?
It was BB4.
It was BB4.
Yeah, because you guys went to the parking lot, and then afterward, you guys told me about it. And you had it. I don't know how much I should say here because maybe it might not be illegal to drink it at all.
No, don't say it. We'll let the snake venom story be not mentioned for illegal activities, which makes it much more nefarious in purpose.
But okay, I just want to finish. So for Dan Barron, which
Dan.
I'm not sure if people will see this. To kind of like circle back into like the meeting KQ players in different scenes, and then realizing that you guys can both like geek about the same topic. I stayed with Dan Barron, and I didn't even know him. Right? They just found me a couch, and I ended up staying with him.
Oh, cool.
And I talked with him about KQ, and he actually won that tournament too. I think he was on day. We talked KQ like all night, and he is one of the coolest people like in KQ that like I want everyone to just like go and talk to him, because you don't see him in like a lot of the you unless you know him for his play, you kind of don't know him for like other stuff.
Right.
But he's a genius. Like he knows how to like juggle as well, which he said that's like got him into like multitasking for KQ and so
cool.
on. And it's like
interesting. Yeah.
He plays like shmups as well, like bullet hell games.
Oh,
He's good at
dude.
those.
Yeah, anyone who can multitask is gonna be good at that.
Yeah.
Those things are tough, like Tohu or however you say that one.
Oh yeah.
Even like some of the other ones, like the rhythm ones, like Osu is kind of crazy. Like the way that it counts down all this stuff's going on the screen.
I cannot do it. Yep.
Yeah, no, I can't keep up with that stuff. I could barely keep up with Beat Saber. But even Beat Saber is getting to be pretty ridiculous now, like with the new stuff they've put up there. But no, that's
that's the people who get into those kind of games. Like they don't play the beginner mode. They just like try to push it to the hardest thing.
Yeah.
So, like if you find any video of anyone playing those or like Guitar Hero or something, it's like, what are you doing? Like, how can you?
Dude.
If you want to talk about triple tapping, like the people on the guitar are like how? I saw this guy who had a cat jump on him, and he was like this, and the cat was getting on his face, and he still did not miss it. He
still didn't miss it
perfectly.
You got to replicate this. You've got two cats. You could one up them.
While playing StarCraft.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my cats do the same thing as you. Like they just stand in the corner and probably just loud meow as well.
It's ridiculous.
I taught them how to go to the balcony, and they just do that all the time now.
It's ridiculous, man. But it's really fun. I think a lot of the stuff we were talking about, just in terms of the people, why we play, other stuff, because like even now, we talked about this a little bit, I think, in my last episode with JP, and I'm sure it'll come up again. But like, you can't do anything now. Like you can't go out. You can't You can't go do. You can't get into the same types of rhythms that you used to be into. So like, you know, you were mentioning playing volleyball, doing StarCraft. You know, you've been making your game, crab volleyball, and
Yeah.
you know, I've been preoccupied. What's next with that anyway? I mean, you've obviously done some play testing, and you know, it's finished.
Well, yeah. I mean, I was really happy like when I took it to Florida. Like that was
Yeah, people
such
were
a
on
cool
that thing
feeling.
like all night.
Yeah. Like I remember I walked away at some point and just some randos were playing, and that was like
Yeah.
mind blowing for
Yeah.
me. Like I always wanted to get into game development. That's something that I always wanted to do. Like I went to college for it. Well, I went to college for like computer science, thinking that I would do it.
That's what you do,
And
yeah.
and then I was like, you know, I have, I have my parents that I need to support, so I
Right.
need to have like a stable job kind of thing.
Right, right.
And you know, like now, gosh, 10 years after, I'm like, all right, if there's a chance that I can make something, I'll start now. And honestly, I just wanted to make at first, I want to just make a volleyball game. In my opinion, there's no good volleyball games.
No.
There's, just like with anything, the more, like, you know, if you watch, like, I don't know, like a NASCAR or golf or tennis, right? Like you see tennis and it's like, oh, tennis is just two people just, you know, hitting the ball back and forth.
Right.
You don't think about things like stamina, about the opening of the area and so on. And I don't know much about tennis, but that's what I try to understand. Volleyball is like, it's insane. Like there's so much to volleyball as far as there's a poker aspect to it where like you're trying to like read the other player,
Right.
try to fool them. You know, like your hand needs to like not like be in any other position.
Right.
So like you'll be able to like tip it like this instead of like using your
Use your whole
shoulder.
arm to throw.
Yeah, and you know you can like jump like this and then like just tip it at the end, but like you can read by watching other people's elbows is like the key.
Yo, what?
Yeah,
Next level volleyball strats?
Yeah, so with I wanted to capture some of the aspects that are in volleyball, like in real volleyball, and bring it to people who are like not into volleyball but understand video games. And that was when I felt like there's something there, is when people were doing things in the game that they were doing that you can do in real volleyball. Like hitting the ball far away so the player goes all the way to the back, and then you know they will shank it and bring it back to you, and then now you know they're out of position and they're not going to be able to run all the way back forward, so you put it at the worst possible position for them, which is the front, and they're gone.
Right.
If you watch like sand volleyball, you will notice that there's a lot of times when people just like almost like know that there's nothing to do.
Right.
Like you know, it goes over and then they're like, all right, next point.
Right. Yeah, they let it go.
The other player like already won that point without the ball even touching the ground. I wanted to add that aspect to a volleyball game. I'm also not that great of a game developer, right? Like this is my first project.
Oh,
so
dope. I mean, first project is pretty good for a first project.
I know. I'm so happy with it being my first project. In a way, it's almost like a curse because like I cannot. It's like it is like a. I read it as like the sunken time fallacy, sunken money fallacy, where like I feel like I put in so much into it that I need to continue.
Yeah, you have to do something with it now because you've spent so much time. Yeah.
To answer you, like I wanted to put it on arcade, right? Like that is the evolution that I wanted. I wanted to put it in front of people. That is, it shines when you have other people in the same room. It cannot work online.
Right.
You just cannot have the same feeling online. And I was having, you know, people yell, you know, like what I call the emotion that I wanted was there's a whole subreddit about it, but it's like when humans turn to like instantly barbaric in a way. It's like a human emotion. We get it in KQ as well. Right?
Yeah.
Like, let's say one barrier left and you kill the queen, everyone just freaks out.
Right.
Like, it's just like you just like stop, I don't know, like hugging people, punching people.
Right.
Whatever happens.
Right.
Like you see that in soccer. You see that in like the NBA when like someone scores the last point and like all of the players just like run to them. That's the emotion that I wanted to capture, and I got that. That's the crazy part. It's like I got it. Because the game itself doesn't. I mean, I can go more into crab volleyball as much as you want me to, but like the game itself is like kind of gives you a freedom. Like you're the game is about controlling the crab first.
Right.
So you can like make a mistake and score a point on yourself because you didn't control the crab correctly. So it becomes almost like an analogy of like, okay, you are the player, and you can make a mistake as a player that make you lose the point.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to, just like with volleyball, when a ball comes to you, you want to be sure that you are not the one making the mistake.
Right.
In real volleyball, like, and I had a guy coach me. How funny is that? Talk about coaching. I had a guy coach me, and he taught me. He was like, okay, go and play against these guys. And he just like stood on the sides, and he would keep the score. And then he came to me at the end, and he was like, okay, well, the way we kept the score is it was the number of mistakes. It wasn't the number of plays. So he was like, you lost because you made more mistakes than them. Which is something that I don't... That can definitely apply in KQ, right? Like, it can apply in, like, different sports and different things as well. But it was like, if your job, the first thing you need to learn is to not lose because of yourself.
Yeah.
Not lose because you are the one making the mistake.
Right. Like turnovers in basketball or something.
Exactly, yeah. So once you get past that, then that's when you can actually become good. And all of those ideas are in crab volleyball. I know, like, I'm trying to see what's next for it, man. Like, I'm super bummed. I'm not gonna lie. Like, when COVID hits, like, similar to how a lot of people, like, you know, like with the small businesses and so on, like, are struggling. You know, I'm fortunate, like, in life-wise, but like for the game, like, the game meant so much to me that I was working on it, that when COVID hits, I was just in the talks about building a cabinet for it and having it in the bar.
Oh, boy.
That COVID did hit. Yeah, COVID hit for me, and I wanted to have it in a bar because, well, obvious reasons, because, like, that's the closest bar, that's my bar. I want to be able to watch people play. I want to be able to, like, improve on the game and add the things that I want to add. You know, the bar owner was like, gave me the okay for it. Like, I was set. And not gonna lie, like, I still have it. Like, I still open up the game the project to work on the game every once in a while. And I'm like, I do not want to work on this.
Yeah.
Because I lost all of the energy that I had from, like, the people telling me that they want to play it. And to this day, a lot of people are like, even in Charlotte, like, I had a friend of a friend, and he was like, "Oh, do you know Ammar?" And he was like crab volleyball Ammar.
Crab volleyball Ammar.
It's insane, like, that people like it that much, because, like, I did not expect this. And I know, you know, it's not making me millions or whatever, but, like, I wanted something that people would enjoy and have fun with. And for me, just those two experiences that I had in Charlotte and I had in Florida are just enough for me to, like, you know, be like, okay, you know what, I made something and I'm happy with it. So
that's wild, dude. Man, biggest thing I've kind of learned from the whole thing, just in talking with you, my producer's giving me the wiggle over there. But definitely just like finding out how to keep things like good for yourself as you're going through and doing stuff. Like, if it's KQ and it's like, these are the parameters by which I can have fun and I want to stay in that and make sure that's happening and that's being kind of prioritized. Or in, like, crab volleyball, where it's like, yeah, every game developer wants to, you know, sell a game and be successful and, you know, be able to make enough money to make more games and, you know, rinse and repeat and whatever. But it's like, if your game makes you happy because other people are playing it and they're happy and they're like, and you're achieving the thing that you want to do, or, like, you know, you're seeing them pull off the thing, you know what I mean? Like, you're saying, I want to get that barbaric reaction. I want them to start actually using, like, real volleyball tactics and strategies, even though they don't know anything about volleyball. Like, I learned everything I know about tennis from playing Mario Tennis. You know, I know the slice and the chop and the, you know, the set low, 15, 30, 40. Like, okay, like, why do they count like that? That's dumb. But I learned all that from playing the game, and it's tennis. Like, it's tennis. I don't know the form, but I know it's a slice, you know? So that's really cool, and, like, kind of picking that up. I want to be able to, I guess, in the stuff that I'm doing, take those nuggets and just keep them applied to, you know, stay grounded, because otherwise you're just going to get, kind of swept. I think is the.
So what is your? I'm sorry. I know you have high expectations for yourself, right? Like we talked about that. Like you are one of the. I mean, I don't know. Like you definitely one of the most successful people that I met for sure.
Well, arguably.
Arguably. Are we gonna end the show now? Like, no, this is the definite for me. And I know you have high expectations for yourself, and I talked to this even with Jordan about it because he recently mentioned that he wanted to become a streamer, and he was bummed that he had like such high expectations for himself.
Oh yeah, I read that. Yeah.
I know you do the same. You probably have high expectations on everything. Like, what do you do to like not be too hard on yourself when you don't reach the high expectations that you are setting for yourself, which that having high expectations is good because having high goals will like make you push yourself to get there, but like at the same time you will have a tough time achieving those expectations. And you have to like sacrifice so many things, time, energy, mental energy, and so on. Like, what do you do to like not, become insane? I guess. Besides having cats.
Besides having cats, that's a good strategy. To have some cats. I think for me, I don't know, man. I kind of lose it a little bit. Like, I think that's kind of part of my strategy in a way. Like, if you say you're like a procrastinator. Or like, say you have like your house. I've always heard this analogy. Like you have your house and no one likes living in a dirty place. But things pile up. The kitchen gets to a point. The bathroom gets to a point. The laundry gets to a point. And like, one day you're like, ah. And then the next week you're like, And then like over time you're just like, I can't take this anymore. And then in that day you do everything. Like you do all the laundry. It's done. You do all the kitchen. It's done. Like, and you have time to spare. You just go into this super mode where you just like get super crazy productive and you just do everything. And I think I kind of get in that mode where if for Killer Queen, it's like I'm stagnating and I'm like, there was a point in time where I wanted to build a new team. Not for any reason particularly. It was just like in my mind, I felt like I've achieved a certain level of success. And I feel like that's in part because of who I'm playing with. No slight to me, but like it's a team game. So I'm playing with who I considered some of the best players in my scene. Can I still be successful if I'm not playing with what I would consider to be the best players in the scene? Can I do it with a bunch of new people and like bring them up to the level where we can still be successful? And we did that, but that was just like all right, I'm doing this. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's kind of the way, like you kind of let some of that crazy in, you let some of the burnout get in there, and then you just kind of flip it to use it as a driving mechanism at that point to just push you, like, propel you to the point, I guess is the way I kind of go about it. There's some other projects and things that we want to do. This wall was for sure one of them. It was like, just get it done. Just paint the damn things and get them up there, No, producer helped out with that quite a bit. But that's like, you got to order everything and you got to pick out the paint. You got to decide on the design. And like, you can sit in the planning mode forever. And I think people like me, people that kind of share that mindset of, I don't want to call it the perfectionist, but like people that share that kind of, I want to get it right, I want it to be good type thing. You can stay in this planning mode forever and then get more frustrated with yourself because you still haven't done the thing that you wanted to do yet because it's not perfect yet. I don't want to let it go until it's like right. And so I think I use my frustration to just push me to finally do the damn thing is the way I just do it, Fox. That's just how I do it. So
it's like that is like I'm reflecting here, right? And like I fully agree because I feel like I'm very similar. By the way, what is the finger wiggle? Is that are we?
Oh, she's telling me wrap it up because she wants to go to sleep. Are you serious? What? The back pedal. We'll have to do a part 2 here. I know I can talk to Ammar all day. Ammar is a cool dude, man.
It's almost like we have so much to catch up on, even that we don't even know each other that much.
No, yeah. Well, I always remember, I'll kind of wrap around this, but we were going to. Jeez, was it BB4? No, where was it? It was BB4, wasn't it? No, it was Baltimore. It was Baltimore.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I took a plane up there. I don't know. I think you were on the plane up, weren't you? Or was it just the plane back?
Back.
It was the plane back. Yeah, because I had a bit of a layover in Charlotte going. That's what it was. So we go up there. We do the tournament. On the way back, I go to the airport. Ammar's there. And it's like, oh, dope, because we had just played. So we were talking and hanging out and doing all that. And then I saw you at the airport, and we ended up being on the same flight because I had a layover in Charlotte on the way back. So I was like, oh, this is dope. This is cool. And we just started talking about stuff. Like, just so much stuff.
It was more than just the flight. It was we asked for like chairs next to each other.
Oh, yeah. We had to redo the seats.
For one of the few times, you're like, hey, we're tall, you know, hey, how's it going? Can you get a chair? And then they were like, I always pull that card. It's just terrible. But
hey,
okay.
I'm tall.
I always know that the seats are bad in Spirit. So
Yeah.
like, hey.
Yeah, it was Spirit.
If it's empty, can you push me there? You know,
Right.
I have a backpack. I don't have anything else. But they gave us like 2 amazing seats.
Yeah.
And we sat next to each other, and it was honestly one of the. I'm trying to think of a pun that is like high level in the air or something.
Right. But it's up there somewhere.
It was definitely like one of the best like experiences that I had. Definitely on the plane, but like
oh yeah,
the chat that we had was just like, oh my gosh, it's like the same KQ thing that we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can just run into people and just chat with them, and you're like, wait, we have that much in common. We can talk, we can catch up and talk forever, right? Like I don't have to know much about you to like just be, you know, I know so many things that I can talk with you about like for so long.
And
so
they're all like things that are in like at no point is like the conversation laborious where you're like, I'm just listening and like, I want to leave. But like it's always like, oh, and you can riff and you just keep riffing. Like that's been like that was the cool thing. It's like the whole time we're on the plane. Then we get to Charlotte and I had the layover. So like it was like afternoon, I think maybe it landed or something like that. You had parked at the airport. So we go over to your car and you know, we're like, hey, let's go around. I'll show you some stuff. So we go to the what is that? The food station. We went to go see Andrew. Or was it Andrew? No. Oh God, who am I thinking about? We went to that.
Aaron Tran.
Aaron. Aaron. Yeah, Aaron Tran. He's working at that spot.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the name of the place, but it's like a community restaurant.
Yeah,
what do you call the place? You probably can describe it better than me.
It was like a little like dumpling. You know, we had like some dumplings and like some gyoza, and I think they had some like some spicy noodles, like a little noodle dumpling shop. You know, it was cool, and it was good too. And so we ate over there, and there's like that whole like work space, and that was a cool spot. Then we went to a Bari, which I'd never been to a Bari before. I didn't even know, like, and all the time I was in North Carolina, and, you know, I'd been to Charlotte twice, but I'd never heard of a Bari. Like, I didn't know there was a barcade or anything like that. There weren't really any.
It was probably after your time. Honestly.
Yeah, because I'm thinking even Boxcar wasn't really there.
Now.
Oh, okay.
Boxcar, yeah.
Yeah, then I missed it, because I was like 2006 to 2014-ish, 13-ish or so, 15, I think, finally, so. But we went over there. I saw the bar, played all the games, played that one indie game with the sword fight game. Foiled.
By Charles. He was also a KQ player.
Yeah.
In NYC. So, well, I mean, you know him, of course.
Right.
He has an award named after him. It's a big deal. That was
super cool, and I think probably my favorite thing in there, besides like the art and all the experience, everything was super cool, was they had that Japanese like gun range game where like you had to like use this like real revolver looking thing and like just quick shot some stuff, but it's like accurate and you do it by time, and I get to see myself trying to get really good at that and like, okay, get a good score, like, you know, just to see what I could push, you know, how I could push the limits. But that was a really cool time, man. That was a lot of fun. I think I've still got my Abari game card somewhere floating around over here.
It's $1. So.
Yeah, I need to remember to bring it with me next time. But I'm part of the club. Let me in. But that was dope. I always appreciate that, just because, like, you think about people and you think about the experiences you've had with people. Not all of them are always good. And like, if I'm thinking, especially in an airport or something like that, like, I can think of a lot of people where it's like, oh, I hope I don't see that person on my flight. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be stuck next to them for like 3 hours or whatever. So the fact that like you get matched up with people where it's like, oh yeah, dope, they're there. All right, boss. Like that's always the cool, time. I want to. So I like that about you a lot. Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Yeah, it was dope. But sweet, we got a wrap. This has been the Lazy J.
This went so fast.
I know they go. There's so much stuff like we didn't even talk about, like But I guess we'll get to it part 2. My camera even died halfway through. I'm looking at this thing. I charged it too. What's the matter? That's me being frozen on the camera. Thanks, producer. I told you she plays me on the low, man. But sweet.
I was trying to give a shout out, but I can't remember the actual date for it. But we are having a Mario Kart and Tetris 99 tournament. It's being filmed by Aaron Goldberg. I'm sorry, I know I'm taking some time here. Trying to find it. I did not think about that until now. But
AG.
even if you are terrible,
Aaron Goldberg came to see me in my Animal Crossing island early on. And I didn't know who he was. It was just AG. I'm like, who's AG? And we deduced that it was Aaron.
Yeah, Aaron Goldberg, and it's well, of course it's in July. I'm trying to think of the date.
It's gonna be an online thing, just like
July 19th. Yeah, it's an online thing, so we will have. Yeah, come on, definitely an online thing. We will have a Mario Kart 8 on the Switch tournament, and we did one in the KQ Chicago tournament where the first one is just like, everyone races whatever and play, and then the second round was amazing because it was a draft. So the top players were like the captains, and then they had to pick players, and then we played the team mode.
Oh, cool.
I don't know how much you know about the team mode.
The team mode's pretty damn fun, man.
It's like, so you generally have to have everyone be like at the top as much as possible, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like if the other team got like the first and the fourth and so on, then they don't get as many points as like someone who got like the second and the third.
Mm-hmm.
So very fun. I recommend it. We're also doing the Tetris 99 tournament before that, and that was also fun. I don't play like those games competitively, so like don't be intimidated for whoever is listening. Like, I don't drift as well in Mario Kart.
Right.
This is my first Mario Kart game since my Nintendo DS one.
Oh,
so
shoot.
I was always like last place. But I had fun. Every once in a while I get a blue shell and I support my team. So that was a lot of fun. So if you get time, play that. I don't know, crab volleyball on Facebook. Search that, add it. I'll let you know the update. Hopefully you guys will get a cab in whatever year. So I'm done.
One day it's coming. Nah, it's good, man. Thanks for the shout outs. I'll probably see you about coming by that Mario Kart tournament at least. Love playing that.
Do.
It's been dope talking with you, Ammar, man. We gotta talk more often, man. Stay up, King. And this has been the Lazy J. We're out of here. Put it on the title screen, hun.
All right. Well, I will not be able to tell if you leave or not because your producer will need to end the show.
No, the producer's got to end the show.